What was your biggest pull?
The biggest pull I had was in 2018, 2019 with Luka's rookie year. It was out of a product called Prison Fast Break, and we had sold a few of the boxes, and Chris was like, you know, do we want to reorder this? And I said, sure, you know, let's get a few more in, whatever. And I thought, you know, I'm going to get one box of this because I want it myself. So I proceeded to buy the one box, and I come to the end of the store and, you know, sit down on the stool, and I opened up the box. It was upside down. I'm going, 1 of 1, Trae Young. And I turned it upside down. It was the 1 of 1 Fast Break Black Auto. And it was quite surprising. Quite surprising.
And do you still own the card?
I still own the card. I know it's out in forums right now that somebody owns it in the Louisville area, so it is me that owns the card.
Wow, there you go. You're going to get hit up by like thousands of people now.
That's perfectly fine.
What do you know what your value is on that?
You know, better guess, I would say somewhere between $75,000 and $125,000. You know, as long as there's a really strong offer that's fair for the card, I would consider it. It is graded. I tried to go for a BGS 9.5 because it is off-centered, and it came back a 9.
Still pretty good.
So, still pretty good, but I knew it was off-centered.
We bought a couple cases in 2015 of 2013 Prizm basketball with Giannis.
Stop it.
And I mean, we were ordering the boxes for like $65-$70, selling them for $80-$85. I mean, that's where the market was then.
Unfortunately, Kobe had passed away, you know, January, and then COVID had happened, you know, all these things were going on. The day Kobe passed away, share your experience with like what you guys had to do, because there was an influx of people coming in.
People, you know, the phone started ringing off the hook. What do you have? What do you have? This, that, and the other. We just happened to find out just like anybody else, just by watching ESPN. So Dave went to the shop and just started pulling stuff, because within an hour you had people almost, I'm not going to say they were fighting, but you know, they were really just trying to find something they could throw in line and make a quick buck real quick.
What's going on, everybody? Jay here, coming at you guys from Indiana. I'm gonna stop by Chris's shop, aka Louisville Sports Cards. Midwest Monster was an amazing show. I'm actually gonna have Bill Grafts drive me, because he lives in Louisville, Kentucky, so he's my little chauffeur. So he's gonna drive me to Louisville, and then we're gonna go to Lexington, and I'm gonna spend like 3-4 days in Lexington with Jimmy. And shout out to Jeff from the Midwest Monster. It was one of the better shows I've been to. Great buying show, and we love coming out here. People ask us, why did you come to Indiana? Why didn't you go to Vegas? And like, Indiana, man, it's different to go to these shows in the middle of, like, I hate to say middle of nowhere, but places that like I wouldn't ordinarily go to. I've been to Vegas a lot in my life anyway, just going to Summer League and watching Andrew Wiggins play against Jabari Parker and Karl Towns, and then I went for card shows too. And if you gave me another chance, could I go to Indiana or Las Vegas? I'd come to Indiana. It did not disappoint. You know, I picked up my first mantle out here. There's always something, you know. Even at Hofstra show in New York, I picked up my first DeMarcus Cousins RPA there. So there's always something for me at the show. And I'll say this last thing. The show, these card shows, the experience is what you make it. So that's the key there. So if you're coming in with a different attitude or bad attitude, change that, have a good attitude, and have a game plan. And some shows aren't that great. Like last Dallas show, not good, but I think this next Dallas show will be a lot better. So I'm excited for that as well. Let's go. We're going to Kentucky. Here we go. This guy's gonna be driving me to Louisville and then Lexington. Shout out Ville Grafts. Uberville Grafts. This last time with Tyler, except you know what I had to do with Tyler?
What did you do? Oh, you had to Uber, right?
We took a $500 Uber from Nashville to Kentucky. All right, guys, we just made it to Louisville, and what's our first stop? What's this place called?
Mama's Barbecue.
And you said it's the best?
It is the best.
You recommend the ribs?
I highly recommend the ribs and the wings. Definitely top three wings I've ever had.
All right, so I'll give you guys the review. We're gonna find out. We're at Mama's Mustard, Pickles, and Barbecue, as recommended by
this
best guy. Also, congrats on the Phillies.
Oh, thank you.
It was a
Phillies
big win.
We're winning the World Series.
Biggest Philly fan I know. He's the Philly guy. Ville_Grafts. I'm gonna get the pork ribs. We're gonna get some mac. Get some good stuff here. This is literally the best wing ever, and we got one wing, but on their menu it says it's the best wing. All right.
And I like potato salad and baked beans.
That's unbelievable. It's moist. It's great. The chicken's perfect. The skin, the rub. I might have to buy some of this rub to take home, but I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Tell me this.
What?
Why do you think this is the best wing ever?
Dude, it's the rub. It's not like wet. You know, you get buffalo wings at a bar, it's like messy. This is the way wings should be.
I'm here for it. This looks unbelievable. We've got mac, we've got ribs. All right, guys. Adam recommended it. Vilgraf special right here. We got ribs, we got mac. This is it, man. I like that it's a dry rub. Like he said, it's not messy. So here we go. Perfect, not dry, really good. Let's try this mac. Mac's so good. 10 out of 10, man. I'm here for it. Louisville, Kentucky. So good. Look at this. So right now we're going through this box. There's this little kid, he was asking what we were filming, and he said, do you have any LeBron James cards? He asked if we made them, so now we're gonna try to give him a LeBron James card. It takes one card to bring someone into the hobby and one good experience to keep the hobby alive and keep them going. So, guys, we didn't find a LeBron, but Adam suggested, and this is a good little pack. We're gonna give him an Anthony Edwards, a Shaq, Zion, Brady, and LaMelo. So, I'm gonna pay this forward. This is how you invite people in the hobby, give them a good experience. It goes a long way. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jay here, aka Mojo Sports. Today we're here in Louisville, Kentucky. And today we're gonna give you guys a tour of Louisville Sports Cards. This is one of the best sports card shops in all of Louisville, Kentucky. We're gonna run through and show you guys the wax, the singles. They are great on Instagram. They do a ton of box breaks and more. You guys gotta check them out. Let's go on in. Monday they're closed. Tuesday through Friday they're open from 12 to 6. Saturday from 12 to 5. Sunday from 12 to 4. All right, guys, so we walk in the shop. The first thing we're greeted by is Babe Ruth right here. It's pretty good. You got the Louisville Sports Card shop sign, which I think this is super sick. I've actually just noticed this just now. They actually cut the boxes out. Like, they have optic football, Panini Prism backpack. So they cut the wax out and made this sign. All right, guys. So I'm here with Chris. Chris,
what's up? Thanks for coming in.
Always great to see you, man.
Absolutely.
I know for a long time. So I used to wear the shirts. Shout out to Vilgraf.
The most comfortable shirts in the hobby.
The most comfortable shirt in the hobby. What inspired you to open the shop right here?
Louisville has just such a huge collecting community, and we wanted to give back and be a part of it. And we found a location about 6 years ago that was good and centrally located for everybody, and we're happy to be here.
You get people to come to Louisville Sports Cards. They get in the door. Like, what keeps them coming back?
It's probably our dig bins. I mean, we have a ton of singles. Pan and you show the shop. We only have so many showcases, so we're limited on our space and how much we can put out. So we're forced to have all these dig bins, and we have dollar stuff, and a lot of that is so people can just sit down, sort, grab whatever they like. But if a grandma comes in and says she wants a Kawhi Leonard for her grandson, I have a pretty good idea of where I can go grab one real quick.
Because during Christmas time, people are going to rev it.
Oh, 100%.
What does Christmas time look like here?
A lot of first-timers in, or a lot of people that only come in seasonally to get, a birthday present, a Christmas present, something like that. And they're always in a hurry, and they expect us to find something immediately. And we try to provide the best customer service we can, so we try to stay as organized as possible with these boxes. But it is a challenge. We have dollar baseball, multiple boxes. We have dollar football boxes, basketball. We have Kobe box. We have a Jordan box, a LeBron box.
Got a lot of football here, dollar. So if people buy multiples, they're obviously going to get a better deal.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like,
Absolutely.
let's just say Davis Mills throws 10 touchdowns. You're not going to go in this box and take them out. Like, you're just going to let people get the deals.
No,
right?
once they're going in here, that we're never touching.
You never touch
I
them.
mean, we'll keep it organized. We'll have birthday parties come in here, and there will be cards just everywhere by the end of the day.
Madness.
So, we try to keep it clean and organized, but no, we don't go back through it and cherry pick it by any means.
So we got merch.
We got merch. We got hats. We got some hoodies. We'll have more hoodies coming in the winter. We got T-shirts.
These are the most comfortable shirts that
We'll
we've ever seen.
We'll give you one after this.
Oh, Adam gave me one, man. I'll take more if you want them. You got whiskey up there. You got memorabilia. Like, you guys are tapped into memorabilia a little bit. I've noticed some jerseys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's the take on memorabilia? Does a lot of this memorabilia sell? Like, what's the deal on these?
I love memorabilia, specifically older baseball stuff.
Do you think it's more for just because it looks good on the walls kind of thing? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like it adds an element to the store.
It does, and we buy a lot of collections, and every collection you buy usually has some memorabilia, if not tons of memorabilia.
I mean, I noticed these jerseys up here. Like, even if you didn't sell, I mean, this isn't the greatest example.
Well, I mean, it's a signed Tatis jersey,
Yeah.
signed Lillard jersey.
Yeah. Some of these are. Yeah, they're signed.
Yeah, there's
so
not all
Lillard-
of them are signed. But
Yeah, so it's just a nice element to add to the store.
Yeah,
But if someone
absolutely.
did, like if I came over and like, yo, I want this Giannis jersey, like you could price me out on it.
Absolutely. They're great for the man caves. They're great gifts, especially at Christmas time. And
But your guys' focus won't be on memorabilia. Like it's just kind of one of those things. It's just you're focused on cards.
we're focused on cards. We buy, like I said, we buy a lot of collections. You know, a lot of set builder stuff down here for people. These are going to be organized by, if not year, by decade. Then we'll have more commons over on the far wall over there, and then you'll get into some of your higher singles. And pretty much stops at the late 70s, and over here it works its way up from early 50s. Superstar cards on top.
Do you get a lot of set collectors coming in, or it's like, yo, do you have the 52 tops, 57 tops, or like
A decent amount. I just enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it, and I love when vintage collections come in because you never know. You never know what they're going to bring in.
What's the best vintage card that you've ever like? You've never had a 52 mantle brought in, have you?
I have never had a 52 mantle walk in the door. I have owned 52 mantles before.
Yeah.
I've never owned anything super high grade by any means. I've had ones, twos, and that was years ago before they, were 5 to 10 times the value they were 10 years ago. So
What do you like? It doesn't even have to be baseball, but like, what do you think is the greatest vintage card ever made?
I love the 33 Gaudy Babe Ruth. I mean, that is an iconic card that almost any card collector has seen or knows about. And the 52 mantle is probably the most iconic across the entire hobby, followed by probably the 86 Jordan rookie.
Even the 53 mantle, I mean, just that particular pose. I know it's the second year tops, but just the particular pose on that card with him up close, that's always been something I really loved watching and seeing is that card. I'm also a fan of the 56 mantle and the 65 mantle.
They're little works of art. This is before 57 came in and just photography took over all cards.
I just particularly like the pose, the up close shot of him, his head. I've always been a fan of that card. And like I said, the 56, because you've got the action on the side, because 56 did it with all their cards.
The Killebrew on the left is Killebrew rookie. That's 1955, and they're just a colored yellow background. With the 56 is the year after. You can see they're very similar in terms of the portrait, but they put an action pose behind the player.
That mantle with him diving for that catch is amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
pretty good
Awesome.
stuff. You can't, and you guys have mentioned this multiple times, and I've heard this before in the hobby. Art, cards is art.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
think that's valid? They're
Absolutely.
arts, collectibles, right? I think it goes along that realm.
Absolutely.
The colors, how it looks, and it's historical. It's from over 70 years ago.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So the 53s, I mean, there was, I believe it was one artist that created the entire set. So there is an actual painting, the true one-of-one proof of, that made the production of all these cards.
Single cards are such a big part of this hobby. Tell me about, what do we have here? Like, how often is this updated? Like, give me the 411 on our singles here.
So this will be our highest end football case.
Okay. And tell us about
Now,
that.
granted, we will have a lot more stuff in the safe and stuff. Kind of constantly changing the layout. It kind of just comes down to what we have in stock, a collection we buy. Sometimes we buy thousands of cards, and a month later, the layout may totally change. And then it'll transition over into basketball. This is going to be our higher end basketball case.
What percentage of these cards, and like you too, like, what percentage of these cards are brought in, sold across the table versus like you're going to shows? Like, you guys always set up at shows. Like, is a lot of this bought at shows?
I'd say the vast majority of this has walked in the door.
Through this door?
Well, if it hasn't walked in this door, it's been somebody who's contacted us, and we've gone to their home and we purchased their collection.
Do you guys get a lot of house calls?
We try not to do house calls. If the collection's big enough, we'll absolutely go to them. We definitely buy some on eBay. Not a lot. That's kind of more player specific. We buy a lot at shows, kind of trying to fill in the holes about what the shop needs. Lamar Jackson's really popular in here, so I'm going to be always looking for him. I'll be looking for former Kentucky basketball players. Might be looking to fill want lists for our local collectors. But wouldn't you think so, Dave? I mean, the mass majority of this.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, like, what's the consensus? Lamar's playing well. Obviously, he's Louisville. Like, what are people looking for that, like, maybe you need to look for now? Like, do you guys have a list of, like, okay, we need to buy Lamar, we need to buy Donovan Mitchell, we need to buy LeBron? Like, what do you guys do?
Well, we try our best, to see as we're selling cards, we'll kind of look, over the inventory and say, for example, hey, I know I'm almost sold out of Donovan cards, Donovan Mitchell stuff. We'll tend to like go to a show, try to pick up extra stuff because we know, especially come the holidays, that parents, grandparents, with their kids, they'll want things like that. So it's always a process where you're always watching inventory and making sure you're not running out of certain players, because people come in and, you know, you don't want to feel bad when you say, no, we don't have that. So it is a process to keep up with, you know, specific players that are doing well.
And we'll sit down and talk, especially before we go to a show. We need this. We don't need this. We have tons of this. I have backstock of this. So it's constantly changing.
Do you trades at all?
Oh yeah.
So if I want to trade for this Pujols, I could say, you know what, Chris, I want this Pujols. Why don't you see if you like anything in my case? Would you like entertain trades?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. And we always say if it's something we could use, and if it is something we can use, specifically if it's something I think that we can sell in here to our clientele and the collectors that come in here. I try not to trade for something that I think might be really liquid for something that I'm going to be forced to put on eBay. Yeah, this is like the GOAT case. This is the LeBron Jordan Kobe case.
You got to have a LeBron Jordan case.
Got to.
Who sells better here, LeBron or Kobe?
Probably LeBron.
LeBron?
Probably LeBron.
Wow.
Just because.
Is it because where we're at?
I think a lot of people are getting hip to understanding that if he stays healthy this year, you know, he'll break the record of Jabbar. So I think a lot of people are trying to jump on board right now with some of his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if we may actually end up incorporating Curry in this, because I don't think he's probably the most asked about athlete in the shop.
Steph Curry?
Steph Curry's
wow, that's impressive.
Probably the most popular.
Kids really love Curry.
Do you think more kids want to be like Curry, or do you think they like LeBron?
I mean, Curry's been on this championship run. He's a really good dude. He's involved in his community. He does a whole lot outside of basketball. I'm not knocking LeBron at all, but I think Curry is just a really solid player and person.
We got baseball here, baseball singles.
Yeah, we got some more baseball singles.
And
then this will be like a step down. So this will be like in between our higher end baseball versus our dig bins. So this will be like, you know, $2 to $50 cards. And then we'll roll back into some more vintage that you saw. And this will be some set builder stuff. This comes and goes almost on a daily basis.
Oh, you actually put like the 80 to 89 set so people can come in if they want to complete it. How often do you get guys sitting in these chairs? They just...
Oh, every day.
And they just roll in.
Every day. And these boxes these boxes change almost sometimes daily.
And I noticed you have these too, the modern baseball auto relics.
Yeah, so we have a baseball, on an autograph and relic box, $2 to $5 cards. This we try our hardest to keep organized. So this is player-specific cards. Cincinnati Reds box.
So why'd you pick these? Like, for example, you put Corey Seager there. Like, why these players? Do you think it's just...
It was kind of just like who people ask for the most. I would love to do this across the board, but it's very difficult to keep it organized.
And then I picked these out. These are some Kobe's. I'm actually going to buy these from you guys. These Kobe Bryant cards.
Awesome.
You can't beat Kobe. Tell me about this, because I keep reading to ask this. I keep thinking there's a glass here to grab. Like, what's the story on this?
So our friend who built the Griffey bar down there, he actually built these shelves for us. I just wanted a way to just be able to put more cards out for people to see. And we thought about having doors or glass put on them, but we just put them at a little bit of an angle so they just set up there nice and easy, and we can restock them easy, and people can. It's just another way for us to just try to have as many different cards available out on our show floor as possible.
How do you decide like what cards to put on there? Like, if we walk
just
down...
really what's relevant, the set, the player, try to do rookies. We try to just have a little bit of everyone, and we after doing this for so long, we know more or less what our collecting base asks for the most, wants the most, and we try to, if we have it in stock, we put it up there. And then you'll move into football, and this will be like $2 to $100 football, and we started doing a lot more Pokemon.
Where's Adam at? Adam's the Pokemon expert.
Adam's a Pokemon expert. Adam runs our Pokemon. Me and Dave are trying. We're trying.
Trying, yes.
So you just let Adam take care of it.
He's taken our Pokemon from almost pretty much nothing to something really quick, and we're really happy to have him, and I love that he's enjoying it.
Dream Team USA's. Those were sick. Got some signed baseballs here. I'm gonna take my best guesses. Wade Boggs, Moncada, Johnny Bench, Feller, Keith Hernandez, Raleigh Fingers, Al Kaline, Stan Musial.
Who don't you know?
Ooh, man. You want me to tell you I don't know?
Let's
All right.
see.
I don't know who this is.
Mitt Romney.
What? Dude, I was so off on that. Okay. Who's this on the World Series 20?
Tyler Naquin.
Tyler Naquin. Okay. Who else? Is that Don Larson?
Yep.
Okay, I got that one. Who's this?
Rusty Iglesias.
From the Reds?
Yeah.
You're a big Reds fan. Who's the greatest Red of all time?
It's got to be Johnny Bench. Well, no, I'm going to say King Griffey Jr. No, it's got to be Johnny Bench.
Okay. Oh, is Pete Rose a Hall of Famer?
Yes. 100%.
How do we make that happen?
Unfortunately, I think it's not going to happen until he passes away.
It's brutal.
Don't you agree?
Yeah. All right, we have Gaylord Perry, Mike Schmidt, Lance Lynn? Fred Lynn, Harmon Killebrew.
Yep.
I don't know.
Doug Harvey.
Hunter Pence, Juan Marichal.
Yep.
Who's this?
Frank Thomas.
Who's that?
Bill Mazeroski.
Amir Garrett? This isn't the guy from
Oh,
the
that
Reds.
is Amir Garrett. Who did Amir Garrett charge? Was it the Cubs? He charged the whole dugout? Pirates. So he signed a bunch of boxing gloves.
Wait, were you guys there when he signed these?
No, a buddy of ours was there. He had some signed and gave them to us.
And he didn't even mind signing these? Wow.
I think it's kind of funny.
That's funny. Got the GOAT, Tom Brady. Mickey Mantle, UDA. Hank Aaron, Ovechkin. That's sick.
We got supplies, boxes, all the different top loads, bubble mailers, snap cases, everything that you need to keep your cards protected.
Top loaders were like $15 or something like that, right? They were crazy.
They were ridiculous.
They were ridiculous.
Yeah. They still are. I mean, for us, the top loads are somewhat reasonable, but paying to get them shipped, paying all the additional shipping because they're heavy.
All right, so one of the most interesting things at this shop, and I've heard about this a lot. Chris, tell us about this. This is the Griffey table.
This is the Griffey bar. This is where you come, hang out. This is where you rip your boxes. Diehard Ken Griffey Jr. fan, diehard Cincinnati Reds fan. We just wanted to have a spot where people didn't have to just stand at the counter, rip boxes. They could sit down with everyone, trade, talk, rip boxes. It's been a lot of fun. A good customer built this for us a couple months ago. Shout out to Indie Sports Cards. They have a Jordan bar. A lot of videos of it. I loved it, and I've gone out there and seen it, and I would just kind of just stole an idea from them.
Hey, you get inspired by other people, right?
Absolutely,
That's
100%.
great.
Yeah.
All right, so can we tell them about the error, or do you want to tell them about that? We have one error on this thing.
Yeah, there's kind of like there's two Easter eggs
All
on here.
right, show it to us.
There's 256.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, there's 256 different Griffies on here, so we thought. But there's one Marquise Grissom. Griffey's actually on the back of that card.
Okay.
So, oops. And then there is one other card that is a duplicate.
You'd have to tell me before I could find
That
something
one,
like this.
it's there.
Allen and Ginter. All right, so tell me about the packs. You guys have a lot of these like affordable packs. Look at this. We have 2021,
Yeah.
$4. These are all scrap.
So many people have been coming new into the hobby. I really wanted to provide an option for people that for every price point. So we got lots of baseball packs, Topps packs.
Do people go through and buy a lot of these?
Oh
scrap
yeah, I
packs?
refill this twice a week.
Twice a week on these?
Yeah, constantly. So I mean, it's every sport. We got all major sports plus soccer. I got hockey. We even got Marvel packs. There is definitely some retail stuff. You just go for your kabooms.
You said Kentucky's mostly like basketball. Is that what people are buying at your shop?
Throughout the year, basketball is always selling. Football is a little bit more seasonal. Baseball, I'd say it's about year round. But basketball, Kentucky's definitely a basketball state.
What's a day like at the Louisville Sports Cards? Like, what's a typical day looking like?
Typical day, just making sure you do your normal stuff, coming in, checking supplies, make sure everything's restocked, getting cards priced, we get a lot of collections in, got to go through the process, just making sure that, we can kind of keep up as much as we can with getting new inventory out, things of that nature.
Okay, and what's your favorite part about working at this particular shop?
I think the interaction with people, hearing the stories, people come in all the time talking about how moms threw their collections away years ago. We get to hear a lot of that. Just things that they have pulled personally, and then it kind of brings me back down to memory lane where I pulled some stuff years ago or bought stuff years ago, and it kind of rejuvenates that. But just the more interaction with people and seeing things that they pull, that's pretty much the highlights of the shop.
Did you ever think you were going to be managing a sports card store?
Not exactly. I had a former job as assistant superintendent for 21 years. Been in this hobby since I was 5 years old and always wanted to open up a shop. I explored that option. That never really happened. I just kind of turned away from that. When Chris offered me a position here, it was time to, start a new chapter and come on board with something I love to do.
I can always tell when I go into a card shop, like, there's obviously the owner, but I can tell who, like, the enforcer, like the person that's there every single day, and you're ready for, like, the collections coming in, or you have to
Absolutely.
price things out or deal with whatever goes on here.
That's one of the coolest things about having a shop is you never know who's going to walk in the door, what's going to walk in the door, what collection. Dave loves going through everything, and we've seen some amazing collections come through the doors over the years.
What do you guys do when, like, quote unquote junk wax comes in? Like, how do you guys handle that? Because I feel like that's a typical thing. And, like, when I would go to shops in 2011, they would try to bring in, like, Mark McGuire's, and the guy would be like, they're not worth anything, get them out of here.
We both grew up collecting all that stuff. We love it, and it's, aside from value, the worst part about it coming is you're kind of breaking someone's heart because they've held on to these for so long.
And they think they're, like, worth
They
something.
think they're worth a fortune, and we're the bad guys.
All right, everybody, we know wax is a big deal in this hobby.
Yep.
Is wax like a big seller here at this store?
Absolutely. Yeah, we sell it in the shop. We G-Breaks on Instagram. We sell stuff through our website through mail order. This section here is mostly other sports, such as UFC, NHL, soccer.
It's like a hodgepodge of stuff. Like, out of all this, like hockey, soccer, UFC, like, what sells the best here?
Probably soccer. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, we have a little bit of a Formula One audience. Marvel cards have really blown up over the past year or so. Garbageville kids have been popular since I was a kid. So I mean, there's really something for everyone. It really just depends on what sport you prefer to collect. And then there's the gamblers that come in that just want to rip to just get that big hit, and then it could be anything at that point.
You literally have everything. So Dave, why don't you talk about the wax a little bit? Like, here's our football section. Tell me about the wax with football and this section. Obviously, it's football season. People are opening a lot more, right?
Correct. And once again, people kind of focus on what's newer, because they're wanting potentially get some of these newer quarterbacks, things of that nature. But you also have a customer basis that does want to take a step back and go into like Burrow's rookie year, Herbert's rookie year in 2020. You have a different variety of people that come in and just, price points or a specific brand or a specific year. But yeah, I mean, some of the hottest sellers right now I would have to say would be probably the newer stuff, because it is maybe a touch more affordable than anything like 2018 with Lamar, Josh Allen, and 2020 with Herbert, Burrow, and those guys.
And we sell a lot of 2018 because that's Lamar Jackson's rookie year.
I was saying,
and he went here to
Louisville
Louisville,
caters.
so yeah. So
Absolutely.
18 stuff's got Allen too, so it's pretty expensive.
Like,
Every time we go to reorder, I feel like we're paying more for it.
this is a 2019 Prism. Obviously, it's Kyler Murray,
Daniel Jones. Yep.
Like, at what point do you guys, like, you could just keep it sealed and, like, this grows in value at times, right? Like, do you...
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, right? But if you see something's been sitting on the shelf for a while, do you guys start to, like, lower the price just to get rid of it? Or how does your...
I mean, we always try to remain competitive. 100%. Like, this is 2014 Prism. We carry that really for one reason. Teddy Bridgewater's in it, and Teddy Bridgewater went to University of Louisville as well.
Is this 2014? Mm-hmm. Well, what about Derek Carr?
Well, and Derek Carr. I'm
a Raider fan.
I'm not knocking anybody.
No,
I'm just saying that Bridgewater
But this
is
is
in that.
so that's like your carryover. Like, people will go for that.
Yeah, we have a massive University of Louisville following, massive University of Kentucky following, and they love ripping to get their local players.
I'm running an online kind of card store. What is your take on, like, the online versus the brick and mortar for you guys? What is it like? Is there one that does better, or is it just it's different?
I mean, it's very much different, and a lot of the online, especially like our breaking with Garrett, so much of that is geared around releases, new releases. So some weeks there won't be many products that come out, and then some weeks, we're breaking tons and tons of stuff. So that kind of varies, seasonal as well as what's coming out that week.
And you guys have distribution, so you can get the wax on release.
Yeah.
So if they want to break with you guys, they don't have to wait or buy retail. They can actually get the product from you from the release dates.
Absolutely. So most new product comes out on Wednesdays or Fridays, and we usually post breaks on Mondays. Pretty much exclusively rip on Instagram at the moment. It's at Louisville Sports Cards Shop. It's kind of a mouthful, but at Louisville Sports Cards Shop. And you can buy spots, you can buy boxes to be ripped or mailed to you on our website at LouisvilleSportsCards.com.
So what was the shop like in 2015 through 2017, pre-boom?
I mean, the hobby was a lot different. It was very much revolved around just the passion for sports cards and collecting.
Like, investing wasn't really even
Investing wasn't as near as... I mean, people were buying cards. They certainly wanted for their cards to hold value, but it wasn't near as much about just ripping and buying, holding long-term, quick flips, all that. So the whole gambling, investing aspect is definitely much more predominant now than it was then.
Let's just say this shop was open in 2014 and I came in here. This would probably be like what, like
6 $65, $75 probably.
for this box.
Yeah.
Think about that. This was probably 65 to 70, maybe $100. So let's fast forward. Now I'm going to ask you, you know, now that we're in like modern times, you know, we start getting into like 2020 here. We're using these boxes as our timeline, a little yearbook. If you told someone in 2015 you had the same conversation, you brought them up with the same, like a same box, and you're like, yo, this is, you know, appreciated to $2,000 a box or something like that. What do you think is the biggest change here?
Well, COVID was a huge factor. People were stuck at home. They were bored. Fathers wanted something to do with their kids. They were going into the closets. They were pulling their cards out. It was giving them something to do together. And then once COVID restrictions died down a little bit, they were able to come into a shop together, collect together. They usually started with more of like the junk wax era 80s and 90s stuff. Even the junk wax era stuff started increasing in value. I mean, it's all, you know, supply demand. There's a whole lot out there from the 80s and 90s, and the current stuff, they do not make as much of it. You know, there's serial numbered cards, there's autographs, a lot of demand.
Dave, I hear you're the basketball expert. So tell me about basketball wax. I love basketball, and we're in Kentucky. I feel like basketball's a big deal, right?
Yes, it is.
You guys have a catered basketball wax. I mean, this probably sells the best, right?
I would say between that and football, it kind of got a little bit more pricey to where it forced a lot of collectors to gravitate more towards football and baseball. Then the football kind of perched a little higher, and then we've seen a lot of more gravitation go towards the baseball because it is a lot more affordable as opposed to the basketball and football. But yes, I mean, it's still a very strong seller.
Yeah. I got to pick this box out because this is kind of where it started for me, and I think, you know, a lot of people will realize this. 2017-18 was like the silvers. That was when people could go to Target. You pulled like a Tatum silver, and he was really good his rookie year.
Yes.
And Donovan Mitchell was very good his rookie year. People would actually go in and they'd be like, oh, wow, I could pull a silver out of this rack pack, and I spent $10, and it actually went for $40, $50.
Absolutely.
That was like the first form of like profit. You know, what would you say is like the biggest seller for wax, like in terms of years? Do you think Zion Ja, is that still the one that sells the best?
Probably it's more of a cross between the 2021 with Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and some of the newer stuff is probably selling a little bit more. The 1920 with Morant and, you know, Zion, you know, that's some of that's, you know, still pretty pricey, so it kind of shuts people out on average, you know, that can afford that product. But, you know, your 21, 22 stuff, you know, guys that's really not fully developed or, you know, not has that hype around them, you know, that's some of that's still affordable, but it's something they can rip and enjoy a hobby box much cheaper.
Baseball's really hot. I'm a baseball guy through and through. I'm a diehard Reds fan, unfortunately. Pete Rose signed back.
I just saw this. I'm just like, just grabbed it. I mean, that's cool. This is it right here. These guys carry junk wax. Do you call it junk wax?
This I don't call junk wax. I mean, some of the stuff down here, I mean, we got 89 Donruss with Griffey rookies. I don't call that junk wax, but something like, you know, 90 Fleer. I mean,
Why do they call it junk wax? What was like, obviously my guess, I was born in 94, but my guess on it, just, you know, in simple terms, is they produce too much of it. Is that accurate?
100%. All the kids collected. On the weekends, we'd go, like, when Boy Scout troops, everybody collected cards. I mean, that was just the thing to do.
So it was just like for fun.
It was 100% for fun. And
Do you think people are doing that now?
Absolutely.
Like, I think that's like that's what COVID did. It brought back nostalgia.
Absolutely.
But a lot of money was also brought into the industry, which is great for longevity.
Yeah, but they're also creating more products now, since there's mass influx of people, that there's price points for everyone. You have your entry-level collectors, you have your kids that collect, that can, you know, some $30, $40, $50 boxes, and then they have stuff up for, you know, high rollers with flawless. It's up to 20+ thousand. I mean, we don't have a lot of that, but we definitely try to have price points for everyone.
You've seen players that were probably, you know, worth a lot of money, like Mark McGuire rookies, Jose Canseco rookies. I heard they were $20 to $40, stuff like that. Who was the most hyped up player from 1990 to 2000 that like didn't pan out, that you saw people buying?
Brian Taylor, what was that, 92? Was the Yankees' #1 pick?
Yes.
Yankees, I remember him.
Yeah, I mean, JT Snow.
When people bought guys like Brian Taylor, what were they thinking, like, in their minds? Like, was
Well,
it like
he
how
was-
is
he
it like
was-
how we think about, like, you remember Anthony Volpe last year?
Yeah.
You know, kind of had a slump. Dude, people think like that back then?
Well, yeah, he was supposed to be a phenom. He was drafted by the Yankees. So, you know, the Yankee market gets, you know, tons of love, tons of attention, and tons of investors come in. It just, for whatever reason, didn't work out.
96, 97 boxes right here. And, you know, people would think these were junk wax. These are actually worth over $500 plus on each of these, 600 and 900. And there's a guy named Kobe Bryant in these. So tell me about these boxes.
Okay, so this particular box is the 96-97 Press Pass box. You have the chance to pull the Net Burners Kobe insert. as well as jersey relic pieces of Kobe, as well as his autographs could potentially be in this particular product, which makes that so expensive. Yeah. Now, this particular box being Series 1, these here, they have the NBA at 50 foil inserts, which could possibly contain those as well, the Kobe's.
Wow.
But the actual base Kobe is Series 2. So he's not, the base cards are not actually in this. So it's just the foil insert could potentially be in that.
All right, guys, this is Louisville Sports Cards. I knew we couldn't capture it in one experience. You got to come out here to really get the experience, and they can find you guys online with your breaks and everything. Chris and Dave, if you guys want to shout out the Instagram or anything you guys want to say.
Yeah, we're in Louisville, Kentucky, at 11519 Shelbyville Road. Our Instagram, where we do all our breaks, is at Louisville Sports Cards Shop. It's kind of a long name. And our website is www.louisvillesportscards.com.
Dave, anything?
Come see us.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Chris?
Thanks for coming in, man.
Dave, thanks for having me, man.
You
Appreciate you
got
guys.
it.
Thank you.
Anytime.